Hello everybody, this is Elissa from Mink Arts and Crafts, and today I am bringing you my favorite video to do out of all of the videos. This is my month in review, and this will be for the month of June. Let me go ahead and find my spot in my book, and we will get started. So, I have more than I was expecting to get done this month. I was not expecting this many kits, but then I also had a few extra days off of work with the holidays, and then just some extra days here and there with how work went. So we have the first kit for the month that I did was this particular canvas here. This is from Hokusai. This is called Gaifu Kaiser. Can't read my writing. Gaifu Kaiser or South Wind Clear Sky. You also commonly hear this one as Red Fuji, and commonly translated as Fine Wind Clear Morning, all common translations. This was a 40 by 30 canvas, and it was a cheap Amazon kit from when I first started purchasing kits. And I did this for the Summer with the Masters, and this was my first finish for summer for the Masters. I was trying to knock out, like I said, I was trying to knock out my kits for try to knock out a bunch of the ones that I have in my stash from when I first started ordering kits from Amazon. So this was one of the ones that I did there. Like I said, 40 by 30, it had 29 colors. I started this one, no ABs. I started it on the 1st of June, and I did finish it on the 7th of June, and it took me 12 hours and 55 minutes. My comments on this one, a lot of useless, unnecessary confetti, definitely cheap drills, and they came in those really tiny bags with like 200 drills per bag, which was, I hate that when they come like that. So it was really annoying to kit it up because I was like constantly opening those tiny drill bags. There were a lot of popping drills, which was annoying, and it was initially popping drills, and the canvas didn't seem like it was super sticky to begin with, and the colors seemed kind of odd. They just didn't seem like they were the necessarily truest colors. And what cracks me up is every time my mom sees this kit, she's like, it's a watermelon, it's not Fuji, it's a watermelon, which cracks me up, and she just will not believe that it's Fuji. Obviously this is significantly smaller than it should be, because you can't even make out the kanji or the characters over here. Like, you can't even read this. It's just blobs and dots. So this is way too small, because you should be able to read the writing here and the writing that's supposed to be right there as well, those drills that you see there. So in the month of June, I have, for some reason, with all of the kits, except for this one underneath it, Pride, with all of these round kits that I did, like many of them for the month of June, I kept having this issue with like putting the wrong drills down. Like, I was working on this one, and I used, for some reason, I would put down with the second color I was doing for this whole region right down through here. I was doing it, and I'm like, that looks kind of like an odd color. It was supposed to be this dark, like one of these darker blues, and I'm like, that looks kind of odd. Yeah, it looked odd because I was using one of the lighter blues for my Monet canvas that I was putting down on this entire canvas, and I didn't realize it until I'm like, why do I have so many drills left over? And then I looked, and I'm like, well, it's because I'm putting down, the entire drills from the entirely wrong canvas. So that was how the month began. This was my first finish for the month, 12th finish overall for my entire diamond painting career. Well, not really career, but my entire time diamond painting since I started. So yeah, it was nice to finish it, but like I said, useless confetti, and that's kind of where I'm at with that. The next one, let me zoom it out a little bit so you can see this gorgeous, gorgeous image. So I do have a post review up on my page for this one. This is Pride by Sandra Winther. It is an absolutely gorgeous canvas, and you can go. I go more in depth on this one on the post review video. This is Diamond Art Club. It is a 56 by 66 centimeter kit, 49 colors, 6 ABs. I started this one, well, I kitted it up on the 29th of May, laid down a couple of drills, some of the 310, the blacks on like this left half of the canvas. Finished it on the 16th of June. It took me 47 hours and 26 minutes. It was my second finish for the month and my 13th finish overall. I did swap out all of the ABs in her face for the crack for this metallic gold AB that you see right through here, and I completely redid how the crack was supposed to be charted because I wanted more of that kintsugi effect, which if you want to know more about that, watch my post review that I posted, I think earlier this past week. So this last week I posted it. I think it's from Wednesday. Loved this. This was kind of a nice balance of color blocking and not as much confetti. There were some areas that were like a lot of the changes, but it was more some color blocking and line blocking. So I liked that aspect. It did take me quite a while because of course it's squares and I work a lot slower with squares. I prefer the speed of working with rounds. It's just me personally. Some people are all about squares. I love the look of squares and I love this finished look of the squares. This was the largest canvas that I have done, and you'll see the reason why it looks like I have done so many finishes this month is because this is like really the only large one that I did. The rest of them were much smaller because this one took me so long, which really I finished on the 16th of June, but when you look at the hours that I spent doing this one, it took me so long that I didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of the other ones that I would normally do. I spent a lot of time on this one, and I didn't have a lot of time to really spend on any of the other ones, and really I was kind of like, okay, that one was very intensive, very like the squares, just I don't find them nearly as relaxing as I find rounds, and that's really what it comes down to. Rounds to me are very relaxing and enjoyable. In squares, I have to focus a lot more, and for me, I like diamond painting because it's relaxing. So I'll do a square canvas, but I have to like temper it and do it in like smaller bits broken up with alternating with a round canvas that I'll be like, okay, spend a little bit of time on this one, switch to a round, just because I find that it's not as relaxing for me to work on these. This one I did push through and spend more time on, and I'm not going to do that on a square again because it was just too much to do this one as quickly as I did. I did do this for the Diamonds and Diversity event with Bree and Lexi, Painting with Pitties and Lexi Sparkles. Love the colors. It was beautiful, and that's all I'm going to kind of say on this one because like I said, I have the post review up and you can go more in depth on that one. 13th finish of the year for this one here, and she is phenomenal. Like, I love the flames, love that, love. And you can see I even did like down here for her color there. All right, let me go ahead and pop her down and we will readjust so you guys can see, bring you down a little bit for a little bit of a closer look on our little adorable fairy bunny. Well, I'll leave it like that for the fairy bunny because this one's a vertical. We'll kind of bring him over. Look at that. All right. Number 14, well, number 3 for the month was Fairy Bunny. Fairy Bunny is by Rita Konya, also a Diamond Art Club, but this is one of their Amazon exclusives. This is a 32.8 by 40.6. It has 41 colors, 3 ABs, Super adorable. I started this one on the 16th of June, finished it on the 19th of June. It was a nice palette cleanser after Pride, because it was such like a different, completely different color palette. It was rounds, a nice breather from the squares. It was just fun, small, quick. This one took me 11 hours and 27 minutes, and this is the one that I did for DP for Pets. So I did the 3 different events for the month of June, so I was like pretty busy with those. And I loved the pinks and purples. I thought those were super fun, super pretty to do, and just kind of like pleasant. No issues with the canvas itself, no issues with the glue or anything like that. As I mentioned in my post review video on this one, I don't like this like color right here. It is the right color. I double checked, triple checked, but it just kind of like this weird blob right there. I feel like they could have like faded it better into the other colors rather than leaving it like this harsh color, because it almost looks like it wants to be a third little ear on this bunny, so I don't like that. I did also on this canvas, so this was canvas number 2 that I found myself misplacing drills. So there were 2 colors down in here where as I got started, I was like, all right, I'm working on this symbol. I think it was like the percent symbol. I was going to town on the percent symbol. And I realized I have the percent symbol in my hand. I'm placing percent symbol. I'm placing the percent symbol on the C symbol. Why? I don't know. Because I had the percent symbol in my hand. I knew it was the percent symbol. In my head, I was using the percent symbol. But why was I putting the percent symbol on the C symbol? I have no idea. But then at like a certain point, I'm like, well, the purples are so closely related. It's like the percent and the C are right next to each other. It's only half this. I literally realized that as I finished laying the last drill, and I looked at the drills that I had in my hand, and I looked at the canvas, and I'm like, why are there so many empty percent signs? Didn't I just finish this? And then I realized what I had done, and I'm like, I don't feel like scraping these off. That's just not going to happen. Because I had literally just, I had a 24-hour shift at work that day, and it was because I finished it on the 19th on the holiday, and Juneteenth on the holiday. I had just, I had spent the day before, that, I had just gotten home from a 24-hour shift a couple hours before, and I was like, I'm just relaxing and chilling. What? No. So in my head, I'm like, why? Why? So loved the colors. Again, this was canvas number 2 for this month of me having issues with placing the drills in the wrong place. Finish number 3 for the month, finish number 14th in all time of my diamond painting hobby life. What do you call it? Do you call it your diamond painting life, your diamond painting hobby life, diamond painting career? What do you call that? I don't know. Finish of all time, we'll call it that. 14th finish of all time, I guess you could say. All right. Next up, we have Monet's Water Lily. This kit right here was pure, sheer, utter confetti torture. So if I thought one of the other kits, I'll bring it down just a touch more for you. So if I thought that the previous kits, the other Amazon kit was confetti and unnecessary confetti. Granted, this one didn't really have, there were some spots where I'm okay, really, is there really truly this funky green up in some of these spots that you see, that some of those weird, turquoisey, these colors, do those really fit there or not? But this was just so much confetti. And if you guys are in confetti, and because I know I've said that term, but I haven't necessarily explained what it means for anybody who may not be familiar. Confetti is where you have a lot of color changes in a small area, where you're constantly having to change. And for anybody who's been around a little bit knows, I don't section my canvas like most people. Yes, I'll still put washi tape on there and section it, but I don't work in a section. I'll say, oh, I'm working on this color, and I'll have the canvas in half, and I'll work that color for the entire half of the canvas. And the only reason I have sections on my canvas is so that my hand isn't sticking in the glue as I work my way across. I'll do that with one color across this entire half of the canvas. Grab a new color, work it across the entire half of the canvas. Grab another color, do the same thing until this entire half is done. Then I flip my canvas upside down because I work on an easel and do the same thing. I struggled to do that on this canvas. So I started on the bottom, started on the bottom, did that all the way across, struggled with the bottom, but it wasn't horrible. There is a lot with this one. There are 24 colors on this one, no ABs, but as you can see, they're all like shades of blue and green and like some grays. That's literally what our colors are on here. And I forgot to write down on my piece of paper how many hours it took me to do this. I think it was, let me look at how long it took me to do this one real quickly, and then I'll get back with you. So this one took me 18 hours and 4 minutes to do, and it is a 50 by 40. I know I forgot to say that initially. So it's a Monet water lily. I also did this as a finish for summer with the masters because I was working through the kits that I already had in my stash from when I did an initial purchases off of Amazon before I found out about, actual real diamond painting companies. So I was like, all right, I need to finish what I already have from my Amazon kits that fit with the summer with the masters theme. And before I go for an actual nice kit with summer for the masters, which I'll try to do next year. 50 by 40, 24 colors. I started on the 19th of June, finished it on the 24th of June, took me 18 hours and 4 minutes. It overall, I know the colors don't come through really well. It looks better in person. It looks darker through the camera than it does in person. In person, the colors are much softer than what you're seeing through the camera. So in person, I actually am happy with how it looks because it actually does look very close to the actual. Mine has like some weirdness over here, like too much white in this corner where they didn't, based off of what, this part here is just like too much solid white. And you can't really see very well, but they even do have like the differences in color here. But I struggled with being able to work on this the way I normally work with my normal method of following the color through half the canvas and then doing the same thing. And I did it for the bottom half, and then I flipped it around, and there was so much confetti in this section that I literally had to just finish this entire section like the way that most people section off and do it. And then I was able to finish and do the rest of the top half in my normal method. But this was so much like confetti right there in just that little piece that I couldn't do it my normal way. I was just getting way too frustrated. It was taking me way too long for how small this is. And I was like, this is like, I'm just not enjoying it anymore. So I classified this as confetti hell. And I was having issues with the drills wanting to pop off or not stick. When I finished with it, I didn't have to seal it because once I finished with the entirety of this, I just rolled it with a brayer. So the rubber roller, I just rolled it really well with the brayer, and they've stuck really well since then because I kind of pressed them down into the glue. But until I did that, so I did it once I finished the first half, and then once I finished the rest of the canvas, I was able to do that. But again, this one was my 4th finish of the month, 15th finish of all time. And that was Monet's Water Lily. And it has this look because, again, it's going to be a confetti heavy one, and I kind of knew that going in because it's an impressionistic painting. So there's no way to avoid the confetti when you're doing an impressionistic piece. So there's that. And then that was 15. I said 15, right? Yes. All right, after that, I wanted something light and fun, so I did Ember the Sky Dragon, which, of course, is like sheer adorableness, and this one was just so much fun to work on. So Ember the Sky Dragon is, artist is Pixie Sticks, and this is around 22.7 by 26.6 centimeters from Diamond Art Club. Has 20 colors, and it's charted with 3 ABs, but I added an additional 7 ABs to make it with 10 ABs total. I did a, I have a post review for this one. I believe is already up. I'd have to double check if I already posted that or not. But I have a post review for Ember. I started this one on the 24th of June, and I finished it on the 24th of June because it's such a tiny little one. I needed something that was just fun and light and wouldn't take me any time. And it took me 5 hours and 39 minutes to do this one. No issues, super fun, super light. I basically have all of, like, this part of the sky is normal, but all the rest of the sky in the clouds behind the dragon, the rest of that is all ABs. And then I added some extra ABs into the claws, and then some ABs to accent the spine all the way down. Some extra ABs into the eye to add a little bit more shimmer into the dragon's eye. A little bit more ABs there. I added this little crest of ABs here. And then in this extra shimmer that you see in the body of the dragon is because I basically combined the charted color of the dragon's body with the same color in AB form, mixed the drills together in my tray, and placed them together. So I'd use my multi-placer and go bloom, bloom, bloom with the drills together. And that's what gives this, like, modeled look to Ember's body. Loved doing this kit. It was super fun to do it because it was just such a fun, as I've said fun a million times now already, but it was just such a nice little treat or snack, as you will. But it was a treat to do something this small and quick, and it was just, I needed that little bit of a breather after all of, that last kit, which was super crazy and confetti heavy. So this one was that makes this one my 5th finish for the month. And like I said, these are all small ones. They didn't take very long. 5th finish of the month and my 16th finish of all time. This next one I'm going to show you, I do not consider this an actual finish because it's like, yeah, you'll see why. So, this was one that was in my stash. I thought it when I bought it. I believe this is an actual Temu painting, and if you've ever purchased anything off of Temu, you'll know that Temu is not the best at actually doing descriptions, and when you read the description, there may not be a description, and it's not always the most accurate. So what I thought, based off of the picture, was going to be a Buddha diamond painting, like a normal actual Buddha diamond painting, ended up being a Buddha special drill diamond painting, which I don't normally do these special drill partial paintings, but I was like, it's in my stash, and this is one that, because it was not as advertised, I like went to return it, but a lot of times when you go to return things on Temu, it would cost more to return it than it would for them to just refund you the couple, like the $1 or $2 that it, or the couple bucks that it cost to purchase it. So they refunded me my money, and they were like, keep it, throw it away, do whatever you want with it. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to throw away this and all of the drills that go with it, because then that's just adding more waste. So I was like, well, I'll put it in my, like, de-stash stuff, or like my get rid of pile of stuff to, like, give to somebody. But then I was like, let me just grab it out and do it. So it's, it's a partial, it's a little Buddha. It had all these little rhinestones. It took me all of, like, an hour to do this, maybe, if that. It took me longer to, like, take the drills out of their little drill packs to put into little plastic baggies than it did to, like, actually do it. So I don't consider this an actual finish per se, because I only count, like, full drill canvases as finishes for my purposes. But I did do this one after I did Ember, just because, I wanted to do a Buddha painting. And that was the one that I grabbed because I was reorganizing my kits for all of, like, my Amazon kits, going through them, pulling all the ones out of my stash and out of, like, my stack, because I have them folded or, like, unfolded and trying to lay flat, so that way they don't look like this where it's all, like, whooshy and weird. So I have them all stacked flat in a box in alphabetical order and based off of what I've named them in my Gemsflow app. So they're in alphabetical order by size, which sounds weird but makes sense in my brain. And I was pulling out all of the ones that I have discovered as like stolen artwork, and because I've removed those from my stash, any of them that I found as stolen artwork when I've done like a reverse image search. So I've pulled those out and put them in like a separate box out of the way because I'm not going to work on them if they're stolen artwork. So did this one, took like an hour or so thereabouts to work it up, and there's that one. And then my last of the actual finishes for the month was my third Summer with a Masters kit. This one, as I was working on it, it just made me laugh. It got to a certain point, and I'll explain why. So, again, when I was purchasing these Masters kits, there's some random popping drills. As I was purchasing these kits, because I love, I do Chinese brush painting, I've said it before, and Asian brush painting in general, sumi-e, all of that, and one of the things that you do when you do that is you study the masters, and you study those, and you study the masters in the field that you work in. And one of my favorite Japanese artists is actually Hokusai, and I love some of his lesser known pieces, and I love all of the different, like his whole series on like the different views of Mount Fuji that he has, and especially having, that's Mount Fuji right there in case you were wondering, that's Mount Fuji. And he has like an entire series, it's like an entire book of all these woodblock prints where every single one is an image of somewhere around that part of Japan, and it all shows Mount Fuji somewhere in the image. So I love them, and I like to try to find some of like the less common ones, and I wanted to do the paintings of them. But of course, I didn't know at the time when I'm like, okay, so I want something small. Not thinking in my head, you know, bigger is better when it comes to diamond painting, because I didn't know. I was like, you know, you go on that craze of like, ooh, this is, I've done one, that was fun, I need to get some more, and you start ordering more, but you haven't done enough of them to know that you need the more detail the better, because one is not a representation of all. So this is a 40 by 30, and it has 28 colors, no ABs. I started out on the 25th of June, finished it on the 29th of June, took me 13 hours and 35 minutes. Cheap confetti, colors totally off. These are way too yellow for what it should be. There should be a more greenish hue to this than what it has, and way off as far as what it should be. One, you can't read the actual writing of what this is here and here. Two, that's a boat. That's a boat. So you can't tell that's a boat. That's a boat. That's a person. That's a person. That's a person. This is another person hiding behind the pole of the Torii Gate. That's a person, and that's a person. They're washing their laundry. This is like a person wearing a hat, and that's the white of the hat that you see. And the kicker that, like, as I'm doing this, I could do nothing but laugh. If it was just if you were just seeing the gates, there it wouldn't be so bad, and then just like the mountains and the grass, like the trees and everything, it wouldn't be a big deal. But you see this right here that kind of looks like either a horse or a donkey or a camel. That's actually two people. Yes. So this is a person right here with like his laundry on his back, and this is a person right here like throwing his laundry over his head. And I will show you on this picture here what it actually is. So I kind of cut the sticker in half so you could see. Well, I create my own stickers with my little like instant printer, Canon photo printer. But as I bring that up, you can see that's what that is supposed to be. So it's like those guys, it's like they're either doing laundry or they're fishing. They're probably fishing, actually. So this is the Bay of Noboto. So Hokusai's Bay of Noboto. And you can see there's your first person carrying a basket on his shoulder, and the other guy walking and carrying the basket over his head. So you look at that, and then you look at this, and it looks like either a camel or a horse. So every time I see this, I think of that as a camel or a horse. So as I was working this one up, all I could do was laugh at it. There's so much ridiculous, unnecessary confetti. Like, you would think that even the Fuji Gate, like, should be pretty clear cut, like, straightforward, but there's so much unnecessary confetti. I mean, look at all of these random colors along the Fuji Gate. Like, there should be no reason for it to have all that confetti. That's unnecessary. Look at this one. Like, why? Why is this not, like, why? This is ridiculous. There's no reason. Unnecessary. Obviously computer rendered. We know that for sure. Like, I mean, cheap budget kit. But I could do nothing but laugh as I was doing this one. And it got to a certain point where I'm like, okay, I have to finish this just to see how horrible the rendering looks when it's done. But when it was done, I was like, I am so glad it's done. So this one was my 6th and final of the actual finishes for the month, and my 17th finish of all time. Those were my regular finishes, and then I will show you my Paintgems and my other couple special project type things that I did in a moment. All right, so next up we have the rest of my Rainbow Paintgems kit that I was able to finish this month. So I had finished the other half of them, I believe, in May, like April, May time. I think it was May time frame. And I finished these rest of the kit that you can see here. I did finish in June, which was nice to kind of finish it out for these other ones. And this is the order I finished them in June. So you've got your basically your love letter with your hearts. You've got your bunny rabbit, which to me is odd because that does not say rainbow to me, and that one really doesn't say rainbow to me. I feel like this should be like an Easter thing, and that should be like a February or like a love edition type thing. You have your castle, you have your whale with the balloons, you've got your unicorn with the roses. My absolute favorite right here, this one right here, is my all-time favorite of all of them. I love this ombre look to it for this shooting star on the rainbow field. You've got the rainbow with the stars, and then you have the unicorn that says magic on it. So the rainbow Paintgem kits, this one is a very, very colorful kit. It has 42 colors. I did the other 8 of the Paintgems for this kit the previous month, and a little bit earlier, because I actually started these on the 10th of April, and I finished these in, goodness, when exactly did I finish them? When was that? I wrote it right there. It literally says that I finished them on the 12th of June is when I finished them. So I was working on these in April, worked on them in May, and then I finished these last 8 in June. So I started these ones at the beginning of June and finished these last 8 on the 12th of June. And voila. You can see these are the last of the Paintgem minis. And I don't have a time for how long it took me to finish these because I didn't really track and record from the beginning with the Paintgem minis for how long it took me. But I did have some issues with some of, I think it was the greens, and I think I talked about that in my post review for these. Some of the greens were hard to distinguish, and some of the purples were hard to distinguish the symbols. So that was what I had. The symbols were very hard to tell apart, whether I tried using my light pad, because I use a light pad to ease my eyes. It just helps with the backlighting. And then I also struggled with, because I couldn't tell them apart with the light pad, and I couldn't tell them apart with ambient lighting, and it was a struggle for some of those. So I did those, and then I also did the National Parks 2.0. I think it's just, they call it the 2nd edition, but I call it the 2.0. So this kit, there were 10 in this kit. These are a little bit smaller, but they're like, I consider this kind of like a little mini full kit, or like a full drill, because it covers the entire thing, whereas those are kind of partials. So this one is 30 colors. I started this one, or this set, on the 14th of June, because there were nice little snacks when I needed a break from something big and I wanted to have an actual completion or finish. I would do one of these. So started these on the 14th of June, and I finished all 10 of them actually on the 30th of June, just like at 10 p.m., just barely finished before the end of the month. So it was like I had to finish before the end of the month because I didn't want them lingering into the next month. So you have the first one, which is Great Smoky Mountains. Then you have the next one, which are the Channel Islands, which are beautiful. See, I love that one with the water. I love how they do the birds, where it's 3 little drills make birds. Then you have New River Gorge, beautiful, boom. And then you go into Biscayne, the lighthouse. Thought about like swapping out some drills and blinging it up a little bit, and I thought, was like, that would be fun. And then you go into Voyagers, which was really pretty with like the way that they did the Aurora Borealis. I was like, this would be so cool to add some like ABs into some of these, but I was like, I'll do them as is. And then we went into White Sands. So there's our White Sands. And then you've got Sequoia National Park there. And then I did have issues with Saguaro right here. So you can kind of see how this looks dirty right there. So it was like when they put the adhesive on this kit, or on this like particular canvas, they kind of like missed it a little bit, and you've got this area of sticky right here. Like that's all sticky, you can see, and you can kind of see it right there. And in return, there's like this whole section of the canvas right there that is not very sticky, but I like took my brayer and like crammed as much, so that like forced the drills into the glue that was there. And initially I was thinking I was going to have to like seal that one, or like add some super glue to it to get the drills to actually stick. But once I had all of the drills placed, it seems like it's holding really well, and I'm going to be putting them into my little booklets like you've seen in my post reviews, and that way it kind of holds and keeps the drills contained. Then you have Hot Springs, which I love that one. Love Hot Springs. It's a beautiful place to go to Hot Springs anyways. And then you've got Yosemite, which was pretty right there. There is a little bit of gapping in the whites with that one, but I was doing that one pretty late last night anyways. So those were the National Parks 2.0 that I finished. And then I do have one last, well, I guess technically 2 last projects that I did as far as my things that I worked on in the month of June. Like, I did a lot in June. I was surprised at how much I did, because I was like, oh no, I'm not going to get much done after how long it took me to do this prod kit. And then I'm like, oh crap, I did a whole lot more than I thought I did. So then I had these Mandala coasters that I had started. I had done like one of them way back, as like they were some of the first things to arrive, like when I started like from Amazon way back when. So I had done one of them, and they're all like crystals, so they don't, crystals don't come through really well on the camera. They just like, you just see straight through them, but you can see that's like how beautiful they are. And I do seal all of these, and they have the cork backing. So I'll just kind of lay them out. This one I think, and then you've got this pretty blue, the red. I'm not a fan of the reds, but like these ones with the blues I like. This one's got blacks in it, which I like the design, but I'm not a black person as far as like blacks as a color that I enjoy for stuff like this. But this one I like the blues and the yellows and darker blues. That one, it was odd because they included 9 in here. So there's this one, which I'm like, why did we have 9? This was the first one that I did. So as I finished each of these, I did actually seal them, because I'm like, you don't want these popping off. So they are sealed, and these ones are like a hard plastic backing, and I did get these off of Amazon. I'm gonna do that so that way they're not back to back. And they do come with a little tray that they can stand to be contained on. And that way I've got some coasters that I can use. And I usually have one sitting on the corner of my desk for, you know, beverages, like my water or whatever, so it's not sitting on my desk. And then I did have another project because I was like, it's Pride Month. I need another coaster set that's like fun and unicorns and fun. So I did these ones as well. And I didn't really track how long it took me to do these ones. So the first 4 of these, I did those ones. And the first 4 of these on one of the days that I was on duty. And these ones I did seal. These ones I got off of Temu. They came with an 8-pack. And they are made on wood, but they did not come with any cork. So I did purchase the cork separately, this thin cork separately, that there's like peel and stick, and I did purchase it separately off of Amazon, and then I just popped it on the back of this. It's like 3.5 inch. I talked about it in one of my previous videos, so you can just look. Well, I just talked about it in a video that a small shop haul video that I have not posted yet, but I have recorded, so you'll see it in that, and I may link it in that. We'll see. So these are little unicorn ones that I did. So these ones are, again, those like crystals with little unicorns. And these ones these 4 have not been sealed, and I have not put the backing on them yet. So this is how it would look if it came straight off, but you can see how it doesn't really dull anything to put the sealant on it. It just makes it so it's waterproof and the drills won't fall off. This one's like a Pegasus unicorn, if that's even a thing. And then that one. So I do have to seal those 4. But these are the projects that I did, as you can see, for the month of June, which was quite a few. It was a lot more than I was expecting. Again, I said that again. I was surprised at how much I got done. And I do have a couple projects already kitted up and ready to go. I'm not going to show you the full canvases, but I will show you what I will be doing. Actually, I'll show you one of the canvases. So I am going to be doing Milagros La Luna for the JBG along, the Jasmine Beckett Griffiths paint along with Emeralds and Fairy Lights and Crafting with Shay. I'll be doing this one. I already have it kitted up and ready to go. So that's the first one that I plan on doing for this month. And then I'm also going to be doing this one right here, which is Jack de Pearl, which is a crafties. This will be my first time doing a crafties, so I'll let you guys know what I think of it. I already have her kitted up and kind of pseudo sectioned off. This is me experimenting with some changes I want to make to the kit because all of this white outline is glow in the dark drills, these like cheap looking plastic glow drills that are like clear, and I don't like how they look, so I'm going to add some blinging drills from DP Sparklers that I already have. And I think I've decided I'm just going to add like the clear sparklers to that. And I'm going to do some different ones for around her skin. So this is the second one. This is a Craft Ease kit. I'm not going to go into all the details about size and all of that stuff. This is a Sybil Art. I absolutely love Sybil Art's artwork, which is why I'm doing this particular one. And I'll go into all of those details for you. Probably in a post-review video for that one, just because it's going to be, it'll be interesting to see how it goes in the post-review. And then the last thing that I'm going to be doing once it arrives, I am actually going to be doing a project that's going to be comparing, and it's going to be a long-term project because I'm not going to finish it because it's squares. I'm going to be doing a comparison project, a side-by-side comparison, and I'll have a whole series of videos as I do them, section by section, or like strip by strip. I haven't decided how long, because I do mine sideways, so we'll see how frequently I do my videos. Maybe like a once a week project update video for it. But I'm going to do Flower Delivery version 1, so this is the original one. And then I'll do version 2, which has not arrived yet because they're not into the store, into Diamond Art Club yet, but mine will ship and be on its way once it arrives. But I've already got version 1 kitted up I did that this morning, and I'll have a time lapse of that for you guys soon enough. But I have a version 1 all kitted up and ready to go. So this is flower delivery version 1, kitted up and ready to go. And then I'm going to have flower delivery version 2, and I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of the two canvases to show, granted they're, you know, beyond just the size difference, to show how much of a difference the extra colors are, because this one is 66 colors, the new one is 81 colors, this one is a 56 by 81, the other one's going to be like a 70 by 102 basically. I think that's the actual size, 70 by 102 basically. So that's going to be a project that I'll be working on, and my goal would be to try to have that done July and August is what I expect that to take me. We'll see if it takes me longer than that or not. But that is my plan for big projects. I've also got a couple, I've got the Around the World 1.0 for Paintgems already kitted up, and then I've got a couple like sticker kits kitted up as well to work on, because I like them in just like, those are in little plastic baggies for the stickers, with some cactus stickers and some fun things like that. But that's what I have planned for this month. And if I finish because I'm going to take my time on the squares, and if I finish Milagros de Laguna and my Civil Art kit, then I'll pick something else small from my my stash, maybe another one of my Buddhas that I need to work on, because I have a lot of, maybe another, well actually I still have my stack of Summer with the Master kits that I want to work on as well, that I showed you last month, and I still need to work my way through some of those. I haven't fully decided if I want to continue working on them or not. I haven't fully decided, just because I know that the rendering is bad on those. So I haven't decided if I want to put myself through that or not fully. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do. If I should work on those, knowing that the rendering is going to be just as bad as that last canvas that you saw, or if I should just save myself that in agony and just, you know, not work on them and work on, you know, the fun stuff and go from there. But anyways, I know this was a lot. I was like, oh, I should get out of this without having to talk quite so much. And then I still talked for like forever. But I'm really excited to do my comparison project for version 1 and version 2 of flower delivery. It's going to be really fun. I'm interested to see it, because it's not going to fit, version 2 is not going to fit in one tray. So once I kit up version 2, then I will probably put the overflow of version 1 will go into like the first little bit of the tray for version 2, because I know the other one's not going to fit into one tray. So that way then I'll have like the 3 trays that'll go into, which will be perfect, because I've got 2 extra trays of my Elizabeth Ward containers, and I'll be going from there. Anyways, I hope you guys have had an enjoyable weekend to this point, and have a wonderful 4th of July tomorrow if you are watching this before the 4th of July, and if you're watching it after the 4th of July, because I will be posting this on the 3rd. If you're having if you are celebrating the 4th, enjoy yourself. If you are watching this later because you were busy celebrating the 4th of July, then I hope you had a wonderful weekend, enjoyed the time if you're spending it with family. If you're working, well, then I hope you have a easy day at work, and that it goes smoothly for you. And I will see you guys in the next video. If you've made it all the way to the end, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like the video, and subscribe if you have not already done so. And have a great day, everybody.